Hi there! You're watching Driving with Jonny. I'm Jonny, and today I'm driving the Lamborghini Revuelto. It's the latest and greatest V12 supercar and really hypercar from Lamborghini. Why do I say hypercar? Well, it happens to make 1,001 horsepower and it costs $67,000 less than my home. My home, which I purchased here in Los Angeles. So it ain't cheap. But before we get to this 1,001 horsepower car, I'm gonna tell you a little story about another one and how I became an automotive journalist. Roll the tape back 21 years and I'm sitting there in 2004 reading about this thing called the Bugatti Veyron. And like every single aspect of Ferdinand Piëch's fever dream just blew me away. 16 cylinders shaped like a W. 4 turbochargers, a dual clutch, whatever the hell that meant. It's made entirely from carbon fiber. It goes 253 miles an hour. It costs $1 million. But the one aspect I really I could not understand was that there was a vehicle on earth you could buy new that made 1,001 horsepower. And that led me to two conclusions. One, I wasn't a wealthy man, and if I wanted to drive stuff like the Veyron, stuff like this, I was gonna have to figure out a different scam. Number two was, I was a lot less afraid of changing careers and failing than I was of like leaving planet Earth without having driven cars like that. I just had to know. In May of 2005, I finally did it. I became a very underpaid car writer. But then fast forward 4 years, and I was at Pebble Beach, and I'm seated across from a guy named Franz Josef Pefkin, CEO of Bugatti, and you know, he took a shine to me, and the next morning I got to drive a Veyron. In fact, it was a Veyron Grand Sport, which was even cooler because you could hear that steam factory of a motor going off. But anyways, how does that relate to the Revuelto? In a couple ways. Number one, we gotta find out if 1,001 horsepower is still worth changing careers over. And number two, should I sell my house? As I love to say, there's only one way to find out. Driving the Revuelto, and what you hear are the sounds of 3 electric motors, because I've got it in EV mode, or Cita, which I believe is city mode. And when you start the car up, that's what it does. It's just battery mode, and you can go up to about like 73 miles an hour or something like that. But it's nice because, like, you know, if you live where you like your neighbors, it just pulls away basically silently. And you can go, I don't know, I can't remember if it's 20 or 25 miles. Doesn't matter. You can get onto the freeway and then fire up the motor, which you do by twisting this red switch here. Now we're in Strada. There it fires. It takes like 3 seconds, whatever that was, before the V12 kicks on for some reason. But now we're in, again, Strada, which is street mode. So what you want to do when you're up here is you twist this way one more time. And now we're in sport mode, which opens up more of the performance. The shifts get a little more aggressive. By the way, this dual clutch transmission, we'll get to the Aventador and that weird independent shifting rod ISR transmission, which was kind of cool, but also sort of plagued the vehicle from day one. This is like, think PDK, think Ferrari. Keep twisting the red dial. Okay, so now we're in sport. So now we're gonna go ahead and twist into Corsa. So the way Lamborghini typically does it is, sport is actually like loosey-goosier than Corsa. So I remember with the Performante, and I think the Aventador followed the same thing. Like if you went into sport, the torque split was like 20-80, and if you went into Corsa, it was 30-70. So in other words, more power for the track to the front wheels, just for better balance and, you know, faster lap times and all that. Here, there's no direct connection between the V12 and the front wheels. Each front wheel has its own electric motor, just like the Ferrari SF90, an additional motor in the transmission. So I don't really know the split, but Corsa's a more serious mode. But we're not done yet. You gotta go to Corsa ESC, off. And so you twist it for 3 seconds, and voila. All right, now we're almost in fully baked mode. There's a hybrid strategy, and I didn't study the details too much, but basically right now, we've got the car So right now we've got the hybrid system in like the default hybrid setting. There's another one which is recharge, and so that's at any point you want, you can go ahead and the engine will recharge the battery. And then there's this one, and that's now performance. So now I have a fully uncorked, traction, unlimited, 1001 horsepower hypercar. Did I mention it's got a 9,400 RPM redline? And really good brakes. That's probably the biggest difference, honestly, in terms of the driving experience between this and like the SVJ. And there's a lot of differences, but the brakes on this, they have figured it out. Watch this. With the SVJ, if you were to brake from like big speeds down to that, the butt would just wiggle around. And it was especially horrible. I remember I was on the launch at Estoril, and you're getting up to like 260 kilometers an hour on that straight, which is I don't know, $1.65 in American velocity numbers, and then you're grenading the brakes to make turn one, and the butt is wagging. This thing brakes straight and brakes true, and it's awesome. And then check this out. Hang on, get some noise here. Oh look, a cop. EV mode. You hit the EV button and whoosh, shuts everything down. And you're gonna say, oh, that's lame, I hate EVs. But what I'm gonna tell you is, I've seen a lot of cops the last couple days, and what a great button, because then suddenly you're silent. Now, if you do it at like 100 miles an hour, you can't do that because the EV mode's only good to whatever, 75. But a very useful feature. Very, very useful feature. All right, we're gonna go back into it. Okay, sport mode, and now we're gonna go into Corsa mode. And now, Corsa ESC off, which, a lot of people are like, oh, I wouldn't do that on a public road. It is so hot and dry in LA today that oh, by the way, rear tires, 345 width. So that's over 700 mil of contact patch in the rear. We're cool, bro. We're all right. All right, big straight. See what this puppy can do. Oh. And I'm gonna say, and I'm sorry, I've been on social media too long. I sort of think in nasty internet comments, but I'm about to say they have made this car so easy to drive, and I can hear the keyboard warriors like, man, I don't want easy to drive, I want to struggle and crash. But when you have this much performance, this level of capability, it's great to be able to control it. It makes you confident, it makes you go faster. I think it makes you have more fun. My opinion. If you don't like it, start your own YouTube channel. That said, I like Lamborghini V12s. I've driven a bunch. Boy, let's see. I'll give you my resume. A couple Countachs, including Ferris, which when I drove it belonged to David. That's another story. I drove the last Countach ever made, and I've driven a couple of those 25th anniversary ones. I've driven a grip of Diablos. First year, a couple Diablo SVs. I think Diablo SV might be my actual all-time favorite car. I've driven Murciélagos. I drove the Aventador SV, the Aventador S, actually a mule prototype car of the Aventador S, Centenario, Aventador SVJ, and the Ultimate. So I know a lot about this type of vehicle, and without question, without hesitation, without reservation, this is the best driving V12 Lamborghini of all time. And I've even been in a Miura. This is it. This monster really wants to pass me. I'm filming a video here. There you go, dude. All right. Yep. All right. So the handling in this thing is just next level. The Aventador, the SV, and the SVJ. Really, I like the SV better than the SVJ in terms of handling. But the handling got better as that car went along. It really did improve. But, you know, it was always like, well, it's the big one. It's, you know, if you want the handling, you're going to want the lighter Huracan. And like, no, that's not the case right now. I haven't driven the Temerario yet, but like, unbelievable what this car is capable of in terms of left and right and traction and just control and the feeling of like confidence and just like being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. It's just superlative. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's, you know, you always want to look for a negative or something, but like, I'm struggling here. Listen. Wow, Lambo. Even the steering, like I believe it's a variable rate rack. They've just done such a good job with it. And think about it too, like, not that I'm gonna knock the car, but like the SF90 did a really good job with the front wheel motors, unlike say the Acura NSX, where there's kind of this like never-ending numbness. Ferrari improved upon that. These guys have just nailed it. Like, you would never know you've got a variable rate rack with a motor on each wheel. It just feels like a really good sports car with 1,001 horsepower. So yeah, it's just like, you know, normally with this channel, what I'm trying to do is like a design breakdown, because I love talking car design. I've just been spending so much time driving this thing that we sort of haven't like stopped and like really stared at it. The color is called Blue Sifu, I believe. I've been in my head calling it like Bluecifer or Blucifer. Blucifer, sort of like, you know, the evil horse at the Denver airport. And it's a Lamborghini. They already called something Diablo. Just call it Blucifer. Anyhow, even though I own a little Toyota Corolla in basically this color, not loving it here, and I think I figured out why. Little baby blues like this, to me, are reminiscent of like a newborn baby. And newborn babies aren't that big, and this thing is gigantic, so it just looks off. Paint this thing yellow, orange, green, dark green. Imagine this in like a British racing green or a oak green, like, As for the rest of the design, I mean, look, it's a wedge Lamborghini. It's how do I put this? It looks a lot better in person than it does in photographs. And it is extreme. It's just one of those things, like, you know, if you're looking at like the Aventador, and let's just say the SV, because it's so wild, like, how do you follow that up? And that's got to be like, you know, how do you follow up the Countach, which actually was a real ordeal. If you have time for one of my long-winded old dude stories, picture it. We're in Tuscany. It's the late 80s. Lee Iacocca, CEO of Chrysler, we're at his villa, and he just purchased Lamborghini, and they're prepping the Countach replacement. There's Marcello Gandini, the legendary designer of, you know, the Miura and the Countach and the Lancia Stratos, the maestro, right? He's there, and they take the covers off the Countach replacement, and it looks terrible. It looks awful. I've actually seen a photo of it on someone's laptop, which I don't think will ever be made public, but like, bad. You know what it looks like? It looks like the what's that thing called? That V16 cylinder with the sideways 16, the Chisetta thing. It looked like that, but not as good. And it's bad. And basically, Tom Gale, who was not only a board member but the head of Chrysler Design, he's like, you know, he's trying to tell Gandini, make these changes, you know, and Gandini's like, the maestro has spoken. You know, it's not German, it's Italian. The maestro has spoken. And Tom's like, all right, well, we're not putting this into production. So he phones back to Detroit and says, like, hey guys, we're designing a Lamborghini. And they went back, and the Diablo was drawn up and designed in Michigan, and they actually mailed the tooling to San Agata. Imagine that. Anyhow, the point is, it's really hard to follow up masterpieces, and I consider the Aventador in general, but specifically the SV, is actually a design masterpiece. And I remember I was speaking with Mitja Boykert. So Mitja, as in nice to meet you, Mitja is the head of design for Lamborghini. And, when he got the job, because he came from Porsche where he designed the Mission E, and when he got the job, I was like, bro, like, you get to design the next V12 Lamborghini. Like, there hasn't been that many of them. That's like, what a honor, what a responsibility. And he goes, I know, he can't really tell me anything, but I'm telling him things. And I remember I said to him, I said, listen, dude, whatever you do, make sure that if a 12-year-old looks at it, they jump in the air, spin in a circle, and scream with joy. That's what a Lamborghini V12 has to look like. Have they accomplished that? It's close. It's close. I'm hoping when we get the Revuelto SV that a lot of little kids are in the air spinning and screaming. But so yeah, it's good, not great. It's got the potential. It's got the size. It's got the power. So yeah, we've now come to the portion of the video where I answer the old Angus McKenzie question. Would I have one? Dude, yeah, I'd have one. This thing is absolutely amazing. I am so in love with this car. It's been out for like a year. Like, Lambo, you've been hiding it from me. Come on, I'm your boy. Oh, I want just like an unbelievable, almost unimaginable, intoxicating, like beyond thrilling hypercar experience. And just to keep bragging, I've driven a lot of Veyrons. I'd have this. I would totally have this. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching this episode of Driving with Jonny. Please like it and share it and subscribe to the channel. And if you think I'm out of my mind or anything, leave a comment down below. And we're going to catch you on the next one. Oh, look, it's straight. Oh, dude.